There. Welcome to today's spirit animal reading. It's September 19th, 2018, and this is one of a series of readings I'm doing daily throughout the month of September. So you can always click like and subscribe, hit the bell button, and you'll get notified of the forthcoming ones. So some of these readings I've been using my cards, my Oracle deck, and others I'm simply tuning in, asking for a spirit animal to come forward. And that's what I did today. And the one that seemed to have a message was ball python. So if you'll recall, I got snake for the whole month of September, and this is a specific species of snake. When there's a specific species that comes up versus just like the generic animal, it's time to really look closely at what distinguishes that species from the rest. Like in this case, what distinguishes ball python from the rest, all other snakes. And since I wasn't I had to kind of research ball python a little bit. They are a relatively small python. They are from sub-Saharan Africa. And the reason they're called a ball python is because they will curl up into a little ball when they're scared. I also found that they engage in a behavior called estivation. And that is very, very similar to hibernation, except that it happens when conditions get really, really hot or really hot and dry. So both of these are stress responses. So let's look at stress and how you're responding to stress. And this is a specific response to stress. I'm going to kind of lump it under. There's several responses to stress that animals have, that we have also, and that's the fight, flight, and also the freeze response. So this really has a lot to do with the freeze response. So this can show up in people as various things. It can be depression. It can be just this feeling of, if you've ever felt like you're kind of trying to make your way through quicksand, that kind of feeling. It can feel like nothing's moving forward. It can feel like procrastination, of putting things off. It can just be feeling super, super tired and lethargic. Or it could be just this paralysis of, oh my God, I just can't even move. Okay, so can show up in a lot of different ways. And then the other side of this is that it is an adaptive response. Okay, so you may not be experiencing any of these things. You may be experiencing, I'm pushing through and pushing through and pushing through, and we're going to make it, and we're going to make it, and I'm pushing. And sometimes when we do that, or if we're just super busy, sometimes we get stuck in a rut that way. Okay, and so sometimes the encouragement here is kind of look at the stress in your life, look at how you're responding to that stress, and acknowledge that the stress is there, because sometimes we live in a really stressful culture, and sometimes just like the status quo is stressful. We don't even realize it because we've just grown up with it. But just acknowledge that that you may be under more stress than you realize, especially if you've been under any kind of change. And there's been a lot of change happening energetically. There's a huge change, huge shift happening on the planet. We are in a change of seasons right now. We're really close to the equinox, fall equinox in the northern hemisphere. And that's a time of when the light changes a lot. We're at the time where the light changes at the fastest rate. Okay, so if there's that, if there's any other changes in your life, that's stressful. So you've got these stress responses. Okay, so the encouragement is look at the stress and see how you're reacting to it. If you're in this push mode, you may need to take a cue from ball python and do a little bit of, just relax a little bit, right? Go into hibernation a little bit. Go watch watch a movie. Go meditate, take a nice bath with some candlelight, something like that. Just chill, literally chill. If you've been experiencing that kind of freeze response in any of its forms, well, either way, whether you've been pushing or freezing, could just consider how gentle with yourself can you be. It just, be gentle with yourself. because you're not going to likely, get out of this by more pushing. Sometimes we need to just release and relax and step back from it a little bit. There will be a time for pushing, and you'll know it, right? When it feels good to get really active and push through. But if you've been feeling stuck or whatever and just at the end of the rope, then it's time to just step back and be gentle with yourself. And final thing about ball python, it's also known as the royal python because leaders in that area of Africa where it was from, some of them would actually wear the python like jewelry. So remember that you are a beautiful jewel and treat yourself like one. So I hope this has been helpful. If you've enjoyed, click like and subscribe. And remember, you can always ask for a personal reading. I've got the link below, or if you hear this on Facebook, just DM me. I have a budget-friendly audio version that's recorded, or you could hit me up for a full session, which includes the reading and some energy healing. All right, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow.